Greetings. Today's lesson is focused on sugar, which is the primary energy source for the cells or body cells. The homeostasis value or the normal value for glucose in blood is 70 to 110 milligrams plus per deciliter. Let's talk about the biochemistry of glucose in the body. Glucose is the energy source, so it is normally within the cell. It is found as monomers of glucose, which are 6-carbon compounds, and they also are freely circulating in the blood. The other stored form of glucose or a polymer of glucose is called glycogen, which is really a chain of glucose molecules. Its location is in the liver. The other biochemistry component of glucose is in the Krebs cycle that occurs in mitochondria of each of our body cells. Within the mitochondria, it provides a common pathway to utilize glucose, amino acid, or fat through an intermediate molecule called acetyl coenzyme A to produce energy. So remember these players when we go into the hormonal function. Notice the two hormones that we will discuss today have antagonistic effects, meaning they are opposite to each other. When the glucose level goes above normal, that is say 150 or above, that is called hyperglycemia. That condition for the blood triggers the pancreas, that's a positive stimulation, to produce peptide hormone insulin. Insulin circulates through the body and impacts various target tissues, including the liver, where the glycogen production is ramped up. That means glucose, more of the blood glucose is converted to and stored in the liver as glycogen. The body cells, meanwhile, have plasma membrane that are covered with the glucose channels, which are normally blocked. Insulin opens those channels so glucose can readily enter the cells, thereby utilizing the glucose within the cells, decreasing glucose in the blood. Third, the mitochondria within the bodies convert the glucose into either amino acid, which is protein, or fat and lipids, and stores them. So those are the three major impacts of insulin, and it will bring down the glucose level to normal. If the contrary happens, meaning if the blood glucose level goes down from 70 to 50 milligrams, that condition is called hypoglycemia. This condition triggers, is a positive trigger for the alpha cells in the pancreas to release glucagon. Glucagon will have the negative impact of what insulin did. So the glucagon will change the glycogen back to glucose. That means glucose production goes up. The body cells stop absorbing glucose. That means the cells will not take in glucose and thereby maintaining more glucose in the blood. Mitochondria will utilize amino acid and fat to make more glucose. That way, so the body cells are utilizing the mitochondria to make energy, not utilizing the sugar or glucose in the blood. Therefore, blood glucose level slowly creeps back up to the normal value. That is great news. However, that is not always the case. In cases of extreme glucose presence or extremely high carb-rich diet, people maintain high levels of glucose in the blood. That leads to diabetes, type 2 diabetes. Essentially, it is the insulin resistance of the cells. So insulin for these patients is not able to do these three roles that we discussed. As a result, the body goes into a permanent state of hyperglycemia. Thereby, the first impact is on the kidneys, because kidneys filter the blood. They're overwhelmed by the sugar. The urine formation is also increased because of the sugar. The other impact is on eyes. Eye damage is a common impact of diabetes too. It's also called as the retinal neuropathy. Heart attack increases because of excess glucose in the blood, and so does the nerve damage. So these are the conditions that can happen if hyperglycemia lingers and stays long in a person. The hypoglycemia, which is related to low blood glucose, can lead to temporary conditions of excessive sweating, excessive hunger, fatigue, and lightheadedness. So all in all, I would say maintain your glucose levels, eat healthy, and be able to live a healthy life.